Steph.
I'm gonna try my best, child. I don't know about this.
We're back, baby. YouTube show, and we still like sports. The collaboration. We are here today to go over one of the biggest sporting events of all time. We are your hosts. If you're on YouTube, you'll see there's Mr. Dwayne. If you see over here looking, ready to hurt somebody, big time, John. And if you see somebody on the verge of tears, as you can see there, her name is Heartbroken today. That's Miss Steph. I'm Ronnie Keith. Before we get started with that, this is a tradition that we do with the YouTube show. You're actually going to be listening to and watching the season finale for the YouTube show, and we still like sports. A combination of both. How do you like that? Season finales. Let's try to go out of here with a bang. Steph picked these here. It's called the Rhythm Kale Chips, ranch flavor. Dwayne refused to participate, so we'll do this one without him.
Can
So
he
let's go
lie?
ahead and try these Rhythm chips,
Now,
organic kale chips.
I love Rhythm snacks because I like their buffalo cauliflower bites. So I was like, well, let me try the kale chips.
Okay.
Buffalo
These are ranch
cauliflower
flavor.
bites.
Yeah, buffalo cauliflower bites. They are so delicious.
And is it chip form?
It's little cauliflower bites.
What are they like? Dehydrated?
Yes. Yeah, they're dried. Okay.
Dehydrated.
Do they smell ranchy? Because I don't like ranch. Nothing. Oh my God, they're so good.
I don't think your co-hosts agree with you.
They are good to say I don't like ranch anything. I love them.
Horrible.
That's enough for me.
I like them.
That's a no for you, John. That's a no for you, Ron.
Iris got me this here, so I'm washing it down with something called Poppy.
I have water. Poppy is good. I have water.
Let me tell you something. Anything's good on your mouth, in your palate right now after eating this. What's wrong, Dwayne? Why your head went back? You stressed out? You never know how it feels to be stressed out. When you...
I like them.
Me too. I like A Tribe Called Quest. Terrible. Dwayne, don't get stressed out.
They need a little hot sauce, but they're good.
Hot sauce?
Hot sauce on chips?
On kale chips?
I was skeptical when I heard kale. Kale by itself is not that appetizing to me, but
it is.
Dehydrated form with sprinkles of ranch on top.
I usually make my own kale chips. But
what a way to end the YouTube show by trying these, folks.
I don't care what y'all say, they're good.
On top of, so before we get into it, let me just explain something. Please make sure you go and download the OG podcast on Tuesdays, every Tuesdays. There's no season finale in that. That's going to be one of the most longest running consecutive podcasts in history. Thank you, John. John just threw it away. Great job, John.
Y'all can mail them to me if you don't want them.
Here's the thing. Go ahead, Wayne.
On this week's episode of the OG podcast, you found out why Steph went on a great date and how bougie she is.
I'm not bougie at all. I don't have a bougie bone in my body.
10 out of 10.
Dude took you on a great date.
No, he did not. He took me to a funeral home and the Waffle House.
So proud to show you where he works.
Yeah.
You know, dressed nice. Took you
got introduced to Paul Bear and the gang.
Go listen to the episode. You want to hear the rest. Go.
And my thing is this. If this is your treat of choice, you should have no problem with a young man taking you to get a nice all-star plate.
These are so healthy. Like, there's not a lot of sodium in here. They're high in vitamin K, which I'm always low on. Potassium, which I'm always low on. Like, they're awesome. Why are y'all tripping?
So you're really gonna fight for your healing by trying to go through this whole bag.
So on the back,
all the vitamins and everything that you need.
I've had everything but the beet chips. I don't want to try those, but I've had the cauliflower bites and the carrot sticks, and they're delicious.
Can't be any worse than this. Listen, ladies, if you bring this bag home and you turn your nose up at going to the Waffle House, we gonna have a problem.
But I usually make my own kale chips. I've been doing them like with a little olive oil and that Tabitha Brown sunshine seasoning, putting it in the oven, letting them get all nice and crispy, and they've been delicious.
Why you put them in the oven? Why you just don't put it in your salad?
No, to make chips, to make the chips.
Oh, why are you making chips though?
So I won't eat potato chips.
Oh, you're really big on potato chips.
Mm-hmm. I eat a lot of Lay's plain potato chips, so I'm trying to get away from that. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Mm-hmm. But guess what? You wouldn't have to put those in the oven, and you wouldn't have to eat these if you just went to the Waffle House and got your All-Star plate. All right, Dwayne, go ahead and take us through this Super Bowl extravaganza. We talked about the Super Bowl halftime show on Tuesday. So today we're going to talk about the actual show because guess what? I mean, sporting event. This is We Still Like Sports.
Steph, you ready? It's been 4 days, 3 days.
I don't have anything to say.
3 days.
I'm not ready. I'm gonna let you tear it
38-35, KC over the Eagles. It was a great game, first of all. Steph, why did the Eagles lose?
Because they didn't.
Damn, Dwayne.
Oh man, that segue was so matter of fact.
Are you okay, Steph?
Hell no! I told y'all I wasn't okay.
Steph, what happened, Steph?
We all lost. What you mean? What happened? They lost.
We all picked them. We all picked the
No, they didn't because Ronald picked the Chiefs.
There was one.
You picked the
Chiefs?
There
can only be one. I sure did.
Eagles.
No.
Wow.
There can only be one.
You picked the Eagles, man.
What a way for me. I was in last place all year long, but when it counted, I came through with the victory.
Right. Wow. But it's strange that you picked the Super Bowl right because according to you, correct me if I'm right, John, Mahomes is supposed to be a bum next year, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So next year he's gonna fall on his face. Steph, I'll be back. Don't get your answer together.
I don't have an answer. I gave you my answer.
So it's going to happen.
Give specific detail as to why.
How'd you take it in? Let's start. How'd you feel going up to the Super Bowl? You thought you guys was gonna win. Did you watch the Super Bowl with other people? Did you just watch it at home by yourself?
I always watch the Super Bowl alone.
Okay. And how'd you feel? Okay, first time you get the ball, you go down the field, you score. Look at it. Steph, we're doing a sports show, man. It's the last show of the season. You got to talk about the game. How long is this going to hurt you?
The rest of the year?
Yeah, about the rest of until August.
To the I'll be all right
in August. Does this one hurt more than the McNabb one?
Yep.
Yes, it does. Because I expected McNabb to lose because, yeah.
Okay.
And let me say, this is the first time in years I've been wrong in my Super Bowl prediction.
Okay.
First time for everything.
Terrible time to be wrong since it's your team, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How do you feel about the game as it was playing out? Because you looked like you were gonna win until. Even after Jalen fumbled the ball for the picks, the fumble recovery for a touchdown, you still had the lead going into the half. How do you feel about that? At no point were you confident. Let
me tell you something. Mm-hmm. I made a statement when the game first started. And I sat there and I said over and over, like, they can't sleep. But I was told it was too early. Let me tell you something. I know my team. And a friend of mine, I sent him a text. Hold on. Well, the game started at 6:30.
6:43.
Thank you for the precise time.
I sent him a text at 7:28. I said, we are not going to win this game. And what he said was, it's too early. And what I said was, I feel it in my gut.
So that's it. No analysis, no nothing that you saw. You just felt it in your gut.
I'm not going to sit here and blame it on refs as people are doing. I'm not going to sit here and blame it on a slippery field. I'm not going to sit here and blame. It's like, because Jalen Hurts gave it his all. That man owes me nothing. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. But defense slept. And that's why people are, oh, Jonathan Gannon is leaving. Let him leave. You allowed 38 points and 0 sacks.
and you a real fan for real, because that's the way you go. You don't blame it on the last play, because that one play,
that holder doesn't account for the time that we got the ball back after they turned the ball over and stuff and we didn't score.
Right.
Like, you know, I replay in my mind, like, we literally left we probably left about 14 good points on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you couldn't get stops when you needed them.
But what they will not do is blame Jalen Hurts for this.
No,
that man gave 3,000%.
He can't be blamed. If anything, you come out of that game thinking like, I'm jealous. I'm jealous that I don't have him.
Because
I don't know what I got in Tampa now, but he is. Look, Eagles need to pay him real quick. I don't know if they're not gonna do it because of what they did with Carson Wentz, but he's not Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz couldn't handle the pressure of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Jalen is a grown-ass man.
Because let me tell you something. Even though Carson Wentz deserves a lot of credit for getting us to the Super Bowl,
right.
Had he been our starting quarterback that night, we would have lost. Yeah, we would have lost. Because he folds during big games. He just does. It's what he does.
No pun intended.
A guy I know that's a Kansas City fan, he actually said this to me. He said the better quarterback in that game did not win the game.
Oh, that's true. That's a true statement. He played better than Mahomes. Not that either quarterback played bad. Jalen played great. I mean, if you put the tape of him playing against Tampa in his first playoff game against this dude who played in this playoff game, they're two different dudes.
There were a lot of bad calls on our behalf, not from the refs, but a lot of bad calls as far as play calling goes. Just a lot of penalties kind of effed us up for a minute there. It was just
the two red zone
touchdowns
by the Kansas City Chiefs, where there were no defenders within 10 to 15 yards of the receiver who scored the touchdown. Mm-hmm. I've never seen that.
It was the same
in the red zone. The red zone is the most congested area on the football field, and there was nobody within 10 to 15 yards of the receiver.
That's why I said good riddance, Jonathan Gannon, because
they over pursued.
But what?
Go ahead, Ron.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Ron.
Go ahead, Keith.
No, I was just gonna. No, all I was gonna say was that I thought that from the first half play that Kansas City defense was getting washed. And I thought, man, this is going to be a long night.
Yeah, because
that's what it looked like. And then the one mistake Jalen made, which it was about to be 21-7. Can we say that?
They were going up 2 touchdowns, and they weren't looking back.
Don't say the one mistake he made. The first of 2 mistakes that he made.
What was his second mistake?
That failed attempt at a Hail Mary at the end of the game.
Oh, I don't know that. I wouldn't count that. I don't know what that was.
That ain't gonna count.
Because
come on,
what was? I don't know.
And when I say mistake, like, dude, have a little dignity. Like, that game was lost. There was no saving that. Like,
But you know they're gonna go out on their
But
shit.
come on,
he
John,
would have
you
needed
gotta go with
needed
it.
Jesus Christ himself to catch that ball.
But if it did happen, you would have been saying that right now. You'd have been jumping for joy.
Yeah.
Really
Of
gloating.
course.
So don't say that. Come
Of
on,
course.
Steph.
But
That's
Listen,
not
let
fair
me
to
have. You asked me to talk, and I didn't want to. Let me have
That's
this.
not fair to Jalen. That's not fair to him.
But listen, I love Jalen. He's the best thing to happen to Philadelphia in a long time.
and you get to keep him for another 5 to 10 years, given health. You know, so if I say
That
this
5 to
statement
10
like
more years of disappointment.
oh my God. If I say the statement that Jalen going into next year,
What is your problem?
after the year he had, is a top 5 quarterback, is that a fair statement?
What is your problem with my team? Ronald.
John, let me talk to John then.
Spoken
I'm sorry,
spoken
yes?
like a
Y'all going at each other,
he's behaving like a true Cowboys fan. What were you saying, Dwayne?
Is Jalen top 5 going into next year? Is it fair to say he's top 5?
Absolutely.
Okay. No question about it.
No question about
Dan
that.
Marino of the league.
Oh my God.
Go
So is
cheer
Dan
for
Marino.
Dak. Worry about what Dak won't do. Do that.
Why do you keep talking about Dak and the Cowboys?
Because that's your team. That's your team. You over there acting like a whole Cowboys fan.
Oh, listen, hey, here's the thing. Your team did exactly what I said they would do from the very beginning.
No, it's not, Keith, because there you were singing the Eagles' praises on several of these shows.
I said they were a great team. I never said they weren't a great team.
This was not the show we planned.
I did say
we planned to be nice to Steph and have a therapy.
No, y'all didn't. No, y'all didn't.
We can't. After degrading the great Waffle House, she just can't get any more passes.
Oh my God. Anyway, Steph, I hope you feel better.
I hope
when I was watching the game,
I hope that everything your wife cooks
I kept
for the
seeing
next
it
6 months, she puts onions
it was like,
all up and through every bit of it.
That's how you pick through things, but you can't pick through this loss. Show and tell. That's the game they played when they left the field as the second place winners. Oh, show me and tell me, did they feel the same way on that plane? Going back to dirty Philly.
One more question, Steph.
I have nothing.
Any positives to take out of this?
She has nothing when it comes to that game.
Any positives to take out of this season, Steph? No. All right.
I mean, there are lots of positives to take out of the season.
Like
we look great this season.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back next season. Jalen is not going to take this line down. Like, he's coming for his trophy.
Right.
You know, we remained healthy. So, you know, I think one sports show branded us as the healthiest team in the league at one point. Okay. So, you know, I just feel confident in my team. I do. It wasn't like last Super Bowl win and I was like, oh man, like I don't think we're gonna do it again next year. Like, I really think we're gonna make another run next season. So
okay.
Let me ask you guys something, in a very serious question. Do you think most fans, I'm not going to say Philly because I don't think Philly did this, but do you think most fans kind of overlooked, and I'm guilty of it, so I'm going to say I'm already guilty before I even ask this question. Do you think most fans overlooked the Chiefs this year just based on how strong Philly looked all year, how dominant they looked, and with Mahomes, you know, ankle sprain or ankle injury before he got injected at halftime with a horse tranquilizer and took some perks? Do you guys think that people just kind of overlook, allegedly? Do you think people just overlook the Chiefs?
Go ahead, John.
I know. Oh, I'm about to say. Go ahead,
John.
People, probably. I didn't overlook it. I don't. Uh, I can say yes, especially with how the second half looked. It didn't look too great when Mahomes went down with that ankle injury. Once again, it looked worse this time around than when it initially occurred a few weeks ago. But yeah, I didn't expect the Eagles to get outrushed by the Chiefs by close to 50 yards, and on top of that, I didn't expect that Eagles defense that we were all high on to lay an egg in the second half, which allowed the Chiefs offense to score on every possession. They had the damn football.
Yeah,
Damn,
every
they
possession.
did score on every possession.
They scored 28
Jeez.
points in the second half, or
Yeah.
a little more than 28. But yeah, they scored on every possession. From that punt that basically set it up in that punt return. That was an awful punt, by the way. It was low, and it filtered all the Eagles pursuers to that side of the football field, which set up that line.
Yeah,
in the red zone for the Chiefs, which ultimately looked like it sealed the Eagles' fate.
I thought he was going to take it all the way to the house.
right. He
But,
ran it back with a lot of patience, though, because he went to the left and cut it all the way back to the right. And like you said, everybody over pursued.
Yeah, he did.
I think what happened with the Chiefs this year is that they lost. Tyreek went to Miami, so it changed them a lot. And people, we didn't doubt them, but there was also competition because you had the Bengals there.
Yeah.
You
People
had
put all their eggs in that Bills basket. People just knew it was going to be
there
a
you
Bills
go. You had-
Eagles Super
Right.
Bowl. So
right, you had the Bills. You had the Bills getting a lot of love. Even the Chargers got some loves.
Definitely.
Right. So I don't think people overlooked them. They just thought the competition was gonna be a little bit more than it actually was.
because
And then
Buffalo started off so strong, so
They
everybody
did,
just
they did.
knew like it was like nobody was talking about Kansas City. It was Buffalo, Buffalo, Buffalo until that Minnesota game.
They were playing bully ball
Until that Minnesota game, and then that's when they started to side eye Buffalo a little bit.
Right.
But
They
you know
gave
what?
so much-
Even
Go ahead,
with
Ron.
them coming out the gate, playing kind of strong, Allen was very shaky from the beginning to me. Like his play was kind of it did not reflect
He could
last
afford
season.
to be. Yeah, he could afford to be shaky though.
Right, but I thought that. But I think as we saw as time went on, that shaky play took its toll on the team. You know what I mean? It's only so long that a team, especially young like that, can allow for their lead player, their star player, to play shaky, and the surrounding players not falter as well or get a little tired. And I think that's what happened with Buffalo.
Yeah, and they got unhealthy towards the end of the season,
Well,
mostly on the defense. Defense
they lost Von Miller.
couldn't
You're
stop
right.
a leak. They couldn't stop a leak.
Right. So yeah, that's what I think happened.
So
with
who
the Chiefs.
challenges? Who challenges the Eagles next year in the NFC? Is there any team in the NFC that you guys can see that it presents a challenge?
Well, they're winning the NFC
back
East
to the Super Bowl.
They're winning the NFC East the way it's comprised. They're winning the NFC East.
Right.
I would say,
but any other team?
I don't know, man. Because
San Fran, they just need a quarterback.
Francisco, yeah.
Are they going to find one though, John? I don't know where they're going to find one because the elbow situation with Purdy. I mean, even when his elbow gets better, he still has to throw. He has to build his strength back, so he won't be back next year probably.
So what's going on with Trey Lance?
His ankle.
Oh
he had
yeah,
an extra
I didn't know what was
ankle.
going on with him because I just never paid him any attention.
And then the Cowboys are going to cowboy. The NFC South has no quarterbacks.
The NFC South has nobody.
We have no idea what's going to happen to Rodgers in Green Bay.
Aaron ain't going nowhere. He did he have his 4 days of darkness already? I don't understand. Like, why are you going to sit in the dark for 4 days? Like,
just get a good night's sleep, man.
I never thought that any athlete was more of a drama queen than LeBron, and Aaron Rodgers is like, hold my beer.
Hold my course. Oh my course. Yeah, I don't see anybody in the NFC challenging the Eagles. Because another thing about the Eagles too, you have to give them credit for is they are aggressive. They were aggressive putting this team together, making the trade for AJ Brown. You got to resign. You got to beg Kelsey to come back for one more year.
He will
get him to come back for one more year. But the NFC, man, I don't.
Man, watch out for the Lions, though.
Yeah.
True, but they have to take the steps. They have to take the steps. So maybe next year they make the playoffs and get smashed in the first round by somebody. But that's a good call, John. The Lions are going to take a step next year, and then the Giants. Go ahead, Seth.
I kind of agree with that because we kind of struggled with them early.
The Lions.
In the season. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the Lions.
Yeah, they won with their last 7 or 8 games or something.
Something like that.
Jared Goff went he threw 15 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Right.
Those last 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
And they have a great running attack.
They do.
And a great offensive line over there. You just have to shore up that defense.
It just blows my mind that you have a
very well-rounded team.
It just blows my mind that you have a division talking about the NFC South where all 4 teams are quarterbackless. I can't recall that ever being an issue before. They don't.
Drew Brees, Brady.
That's true.
And guess what, Steph? They all got Derek Carr on speed dial. They all trying to get Derek Carr to come through and holler.
You're right, John. They had all those superstars.
Mm-hmm.
They had Matt Ryan was there. Who was in Carolina?
Mm-hmm. Cam.
Well, Cam
was there. They got rid of Cam maybe a year or two too soon. But the division got old really fast, so I have no idea what's gonna happen with that division.
Carolina was the team I forgot about this season. I didn't watch any Panthers game. One maybe. I think I watched one.
Huh?
I was wondering if we covered any Panthers game.
Yeah, we did. We covered the last one for the division versus the Bucks. We did that one, which they lost. But they split with the Bucks this year. They didn't give Steve Wilkes the job. They hired Frank Wright from
Indianapolis.
Who got fired.
Washington wants to give them Ron Rivera back at this point.
Damn.
They tired of Ron.
But some quick. So good Super Bowl overall, though, right? Minus Steph losing, your Eagles losing. It was a good game, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good game. Great game.
Yeah.
Halftime show, you already covered that.
It wasn't boring. It wasn't boring at all. I tell you what, real quick before we get out of here, I will say this though. Next year, y'all better be watching out for them damn Jaguars.
Oh yeah. They'll take a step forward.
I know that's AFC. That's AFC, but I don't think Kansas City will have an easy way to the Super Bowl again next year. Now, I'm not saying Eagles.
They're still the front runners,
but I think Eagles' path is a lot. They're a lot. There's so many levels ahead of everybody else in the NFC that it's just going to be damn luck. Any given Sunday type of luck for somebody to knock them out in the playoffs next year.
Mm-hmm. But I low key love Jacksonville too for obvious reasons. But
that's
Clemson connection.
Yeah, that could be your AFC adopted team. Just don't move there.
Never.
So some quick off-season things to look at. The draft's coming up. The Bears have the number 1 pick. See what happens with Lamar. See what happens with Lamar and his money. What else? See what happened with Rodgers. See what happened with the Giants with Saquon and the quarterback over there.
See about the NFC South and their quarterback situation.
It's dire, Steph. It's dire.
At this point, they can call us.
It's
wow.
I'll take New Orleans. I'll let y'all choose.
It's nice. It should be a really good off season, man. It was a good season.
Yeah.
It should be a really good off season as well if you're into the news part of it and the movements and whatnot. So congratulations to that bum Mahomes and his daddy.
I like his dad.
Smoking a Philly blunt.
Yeah.
Smoking on Philly blood.
I've watched his dad, and I was like, people were thinking like, oh, is Patrick black enough? Yeah, his daddy black enough for both of them.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was watching some of the celebration today, and he was very excited. Patrick was, and he started sounding exactly like his dad. I was like, damn, there you go. Yeah. It was weird, man. The way his voice projected.
Video going around of a moment of him and his dad right after the game. And if you could find that video, it might put a tear in your eye, man, because he's telling them, you how great he is, and they love each other. It was a great moment. And one last thing, at least, Steph, you feel good for Andy Reid, right?
Yes, I love Andy.
Yeah,
I do.
And he coming back, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
everybody.
That's confirmed.
That. Yeah, he confirmed it.
I always have love, and I also listen. A special shout out to Mama Kelsey, because she literally went from celebrating with one son to comforting the other. Like it was so awesome. She was the real MVP of the game. So,
and that was it. Wasn't.
We also need to figure out how they grew up in the same house.
What you mean?
We need to figure out how those two boys grew up in the same house.
What you mean?
They're 4 years apart, so
yeah,
Travis was hanging
very
with some
different.
other people.
They are very different.
Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a head coaching position, so I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
Who's that? Eric who?
Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Speaking of that, that's another problem the Eagles are going to have. You got to go find some coordinators.
We'll get them.
Okay, I'm sure you will. Y'all just throwing money around over there.
Listen, I really wish there was a way that Deuce Staley could come back, but he's happy where he is. So
wow.
Detroit, right?
Yeah, but Philadelphia screwed him over so bad. I wouldn't come back if I was him.
Right.
I'm glad Nick is our head coach, because Nick is amazing, but Philadelphia screwed him over.
Yeah. All right, that's all we got for take us out.
Thank you guys for joining us today. This was a great show, Steph. Steph is such a gem. I mean, really, the show would not be the same without her on here. It was great season this year. We'll be back for season 2, but also, season 3, I'm sorry. But also be on the lookout, because I'm sure there's going to be some off-season changes, some off-season moves, more Boston and Orlando Magic matchups. So check Dwayne out, as he will join us on for a few episodes on our OG podcast. And look at Dwayne's shirt, the Magic. Oh man,
the tragic.
And as we said before, it's the season finale for the YouTube show, so the YouTube show will be on a little bit of a hiatus. So we'll let you guys know when a new episode pops up. Thank you guys so much. We will see you. I can't even say next year. We'll see you in a few months.